What's up guys, welcome back to the Cardfight Casual channel, and today we're going to be opening, well, basically half a carton of V-EB06, the logic of destruction and, wait, the logic of salvation, something, I don't know, it doesn't matter. But we got 3 boxes here first, I'm gonna open them, and haven't pulled the IMA for this carton yet, so haven't seen what it's gonna be. Alright. First box, I'll go through the rares and above for the first box so that you guys can take a look at what there is, and after that we'll go through a bit faster. So first, you get one, it's only one gift marker. So this one has MLB, and no points for this box. Let's see what these 12 packs have. First pack. Oh, first pack is Brand, Planetary Corpse King, or the Starhawk Wanderer Brand. He's a grade 4 that has the skill active Counterblast 1 on Vanguard for this turn, and until the end of the opponent's next turn, all your opponent's trigger effects have different skills. So if they get a crit, then your opponent gets -1 crit to the Vanguard. If you get a heal trigger, your opponent takes 1 damage instead of heals 1. If you get a draw trigger, they have to discard 1, and if you get a front trigger, it gets plus to the back row instead of the front row. So yeah, and here's one of the other support cards for the Starhawk build. Counterblast 1 on rear guard, search the top 4 cards for grade 2 and above Starhawk and add it to your hand, put the rest in the drop zone. Alright. Next pack. White Tiger, some restarters. It's just two cards. One is the Falcon from Nova Grapplers. When you call him, you can Soul Blast 1 and stand all your units. If 2 or more stand and you have a White Tiger, this card in Soul, then you get to draw 1 card. So it's pretty good for Nova Grapplers, and this gives them a lot of viability for their skills. And we have Rotary Sage Belk, part of the combo with Undulatory Sage Tana. We'll probably make a video about that. Here's the Star Corps, the Star Hulk starter, Ruri, I think that's his name. And for the double rare, there's a Genocide Jack. So the English version of this card is Brutal Jack, but Japanese one is Genocide Jack. And the second rare is this hero card, which shouldn't really be in this set, but it is, because Heroes is coming out next set. Anyways. And we get our first triple rare for the set is I don't know what this guy's name is. Full Busted Armor. Anyways, this guy searches for an Overlord. When you call him, you can Soul Blast 2, retire one of your opponent's rear guards, and then search the top 7 for an Overlord, add it to your hand. And if your opponent has no rear guards on Vanguard and rear guard, his skill on Vanguard and rear guard is he gets plus 3k continuous, which is pretty good against a defensive opponent, because they won't throw down many stuff to call, and so you kind of get a better defensive turn. And you get Dragonic Burnout, one of the best rare cards from the set for Kagero. Counterblast 1 once a turn, and you can return a grade 2 or higher normal unit from your drop zone to the bottom of your deck, and retire one of your opponent's rear guards. So put some useful grade 3s or 2s back in the deck, and at the same time retire one of your opponent's rear guards. Just 2 more rares. This is the guy that Soul Blast 1 to bind the top card of your opponent's deck, and this one is the Undulatory Sage Tana. Yep. And here is Screaming and Dancing Announcer Shout, probably one of the most underappreciated cards of the set. But his skill is that you can rest him and your opponent, and you both reveal the top card of the deck if the one with the higher grade gets to draw the card, and the one with the lower grade has to soul charge it. And if both have the same grade, then you get to draw the card. Both players get to draw the card. So this card is, I think it's kind of a sleeper, because a lot of people don't realize that the potential of just being able to refill the board turn and turn after again, and also at the same time, even if you fail, you do get the soul charge, which is very useful for a lot of the effects. Next pack we have Claydol Mechanic, and Claydol Mechanic is the triple rare for Nova Grapplers, and his skill is that on call, if you have 4 or less cards in your hand and on the field, on the rear guards, you get to draw 1 card, and his second skill is when you would Counterblast 1, you can retire him to Countercharge 1, basically giving you a free Counterblast. And the rare card from Link Joker, Decadol Automata, whose skill is on rear guard, you can get 10k power, and your opponent does an extra drive check every turn. And if you have 3, the drive check, every drive check that is 3 or higher, if a trigger of any kind is revealed on the 3rd or more drive check, you discard it. Your opponent discards the card. Got last 5 packs here. We have Blaster Arrow. So Blaster Arrow I went over in my Blaster video, you can check it out right here in the top right hand corner. But for this card, she basically allows you to search your Arc Saber Dragons consistently, so you don't have to play that many cards, that many copies of him. And her second skill is the whole field resist if you have 6 different types of blasters on the field. Not bad, but she's always going to be the first target for any of your opponent's effects and attacks. And we have another 2 rares, going through those. And oh, we have the OR for one of the ORs for this Carton. This is the same card as just now, the Full Armored Blaster. I think he doesn't have the original Vanguard didn't really have a version of him, so he just gets the OR treatment on the same art and it's textured. So yeah. Okay. And you get this Fire Rage Dragon, who is an interesting tech if you choose to use him. Vanguard Rearguard call into play, can Counterblast and Soul Blast 1 and reveal and discard the top card of your deck. Retire your opponent's Rearguards, the same number of opponent's Rearguards as the grade that is revealed, and if you didn't manage to retire any of your opponent's Rearguards, which means if they have an empty field or you get a grade 0, then you do get 1 crit on that card. And 1 Blaster Rapier. Again, I covered this in my video, but briefly, her skill is plus 15k if you have 6 blasters on field, and Vanguard, when she swings at a Vanguard, when she attacks, if you have a Blaster or Arc Saber Vanguard, she can check the top card of the deck and put it at the top or the bottom. So OTT in Royals, basically. And I didn't go through this card. This is Beast Deity Black Tortoise. His skill is that when you call him, or once a turn rather, you can Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, he will stand and attack your opponent. If your attack didn't hit, then he gets to stand again. So if your opponent's at 5, it's a really good card to push. And if you're using him with a Zero Dragon skill, then he gets an additional attack, basically. And 2 more rares. And for the last pack of this box, there's probably nothing left. There is, oh, there's 1 double rare left. There is Insight Riser. So he's a pretty good card. I'm going to be running him in a budget version of my Nova deck, which his skill is Vanguard only. When he attacks, you can Counterblast 1, stand all the cards, all the rear guards on your opponent, on your additional rear guard circles or Excel circles. And here's Tameless Feather Dragon, grade 3 for Royals, whose skill is Counterblast 1 when called into play. Choose 1 column and call 2 cards to it. If you call 2 or more, draw 1 card. Alright, that's the first box. Okay, so next 3 boxes, I've already taken out the plastic and my friends are just leaving out the cards from the first box. But from these ones, let's see what we'll go through, what we'll get. We'll go through just the double rares and above. We have Dragonic Neoflame. So his skill is, when he attacks, when an Overlord, Dragonic Overlord, the great attacks, you get plus 5,000 power for him. And if he attacks, you can choose to play 2 Counterblast for 1 crit. It's kind of a hefty cost, but it does give you the extra guaranteed crit, especially with Brand coming up. You never know, and that might be useful. We have Blaster Javelin, so another card that we haven't seen yet. His skill is that when he boosts an Arc Saver, if you boost any unit and you have an Arc Saver or Blaster Vanguard, he gets plus 2k, making a 10k booster. Second skill, if you have 6 or more blasters of different names, when he boosts, you get to bind one of your opponent's rear guards in the front row. So basically just Narukami in blasters, as was expected. We have a triple R for this pack, is Brand. So here is the grade 3 version, which basically does like a half version of the VR that we saw just now. And his skill is basically the same, except it has an additional Soul Blast cost, and you don't get the effects of the draw trigger and the front trigger. So it's just -1 crit if you draw a crit, and deal your opponent 1 damage if they get the heal trigger. So a lot of people are thinking maybe you should take out heal triggers out of the decks, but depending on how popular the playstyle or the Link Joker clan is and how well they do in the tournaments, you might or might not want to do that. So we have another Insight Riser, another Black Tortoise, well, the foils here. We have 2 more rares. We have another Clay Doll Mechanic, another one. So if you want to see that, scroll back to the skill, you can scroll back to the earlier part of this video. So we have a lot of Clay Doll Mechanics now from these 2 cartons. Just rares, 4 more packs from this box. And we have Blaster Dagger. So this is one of the last few blasters to see. And his skill is when he has 6 or more blasters on field, all your blasters get boost, which allows you to actually fill the field with grade 2 and above blasters and still able to boost the Vanguard. Or rather, still able to boost with a rearguard with grade 2 or higher. And second skill is that when your Vanguard with Arc Saver or Blaster in its name hits, you can bounce him back to hand, so helps with early game rush. And if you didn't manage to beat your opponent but somehow managed to land a Vanguard blaster attack, you can bounce him for shield. And we have the VR for this set, for this box, Messianic Lord Blaster. So I went over him again in my blaster video, check it out. But his skill is that he can drive check and call any blaster unit that he drive checks, and if you have 6 or more different types of blasters on the field, he gets all of their accumulated power and crits. So that's plus 5 crit and however much power, usually around 60 to 70 without the force marker. And 2 more rares, and for the last pack of this box, 2 more rares. Alright, next box. Oops, okay. This one we have the Brand Ringer's force marker, so that's what it looks like. And 1 point. 1 point, here you go. How many clay dolls do you want? We have the Dragonic Full Armored Buster, whatever his name is. He's useful but very resource heavy, so until Kagero gets more soul charge, another Insight Riser, he may not be that great. So some builds actually won't play Dragonic Full Armored Blaster thing because you basically only get to use him once a game. If you're using Dragonic Overlord, the normal one, you'll have to use his soul for Soul Blast, and if you're using any card like Berserk Dragon or Bar, you can't use those effects once you use Soul Blast 2. Unless you use Spillover Dragon, in which case you can use it 1 more time. So, pros and cons. And we have the SVR Brand Ringer for this box. So that's what the SVR looks like. Wandering Starhawk Deity Brand Ringer. And yeah, basically just borderless text. It doesn't actually look that different from the regular version. Five more packs from this box. We have another Dragonic Neoflame. We have 2 more rares. This pile of commons is getting out of control. We have 2 more rares. And it looks like 2 or 3 more packs from this box. We have another Blaster Rapier. Canvas for the Dragon. And for the last 3 packs from this box, we get 1 more Blaster Javelin. Oops. 1 more Clay Doll Mechanic. And seems like there's a lot of Clay Doll Mechanics in this garden. And 2 more rares. Alright, moving on to the 3rd box before we go to the speed unboxing. Even though this is kind of the speed unboxing. We have Dragonic Overlord the Great. So this is what his force marker looks like. Not too bad. 12 packs, here we go. Looks like this has something in it. Another. We have a VR as your dragon. And 1 more rare. I actually didn't go over his skill, but he when your opponent doesn't cut with the trigger this turn, you can once a turn Soul Blast 1 and gain 10,000 power. So basically forces your opponent, who's playing against Brent, to use triggers to guard even smaller attacks. And here we have 2 more rares. We have another Dragonic Neoflame. So most of the rares, the double rares and above, the double rares in this card, in this case, will be a blaster unit, just because there's so many blaster units. And unfortunately, we didn't get Blaster Sword, so could have been 5, but it's 4. Anyways, another Clay Doll Mechanic. So now we have 21 Clay Doll Mechanics from this carton. From this carton, Genocide Jack, yeah, Starhawk.
How many units do we have? 6 total for 2 cartons.
Nice.
How is that possible? 6 from 2.
Anyways, it's a pretty good card. Clay Doll Mechanic. If you ever get a card that allows you to play more than 4 copies of a card, you can play 25 Clay Doll Mechanics. Misaki, or rather the Blaster Rapier. So still waiting on that IMR. Nothing here. 4 more packs from this box. we have the Grade 2 card for Link Joker. So actually we haven't seen this one yet in 3 boxes. His skill is that when your opponent does not guard his attack, where he attacked the Vanguard with a trigger unit, you can counterblast 1 and draw 1 card and bind one of your opponent's Grade 2 and above rear guards face down. So he's probably one of the best double Rs, or triple Rs rather, to come out of this set, and one of the best Grade 2 Link Jokers, period. And 3 more packs, we get another Blaster Dagger. We get 2 more cards, Milos for the Dragon. Last pack for this box is just 2 more rares. Alright, we'll cut to the rest.
Hey guys, so the rest of this video is pretty much me and my friends opening up the last 6 boxes of the carton just to see what IMR we get and if we pull anything else out. So you get the chance of getting 1 IMR per carton, and that one can be either Blaster Rapier, Blaster Dagger, Blaster Arrow, Blaster Blade, Messianic Lord Blaster himself, and 1 other card, Blaster Javelin. And if you guys stay tuned to the end of the video, you'll see pretty much what I pulled. Unfortunately, I didn't get to take a recap of the entire carton, but suffice to say, we had a lot of great mechanics. And yeah, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the rest of this video.